What's up, guys? Welcome to the FoxieMooseShow, episode 12. I'm your host, Tyre Godet, aka FoxieMoose, and I'm here to analyze your favorite characters. So, today, today we're going to go over KDA Evelynn, because I think it was like last week or 2 weeks ago, we did KDA Akali. And last week I wanted to get this video out, but I couldn't really find the time. So I'm putting out two videos this week since one was due last week. So the first one for this week is going to be the KDA Evelynn. All right. And for those who are new here, I'm a character concept artist that enjoys helping people learn while inspiring creativity in others. So let's move on to KDA Evelynn. Okay. All right, so as you can see here, I have some screenshots from in-game. Not sure if they updated the model or anything, but these are pretty. These are from, I believe these are from the beta, from the PBE. So I'm not sure if it's been updated or not. Um, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and analyze these screenshots and see why this design works, and the little tidbits that you don't really notice unless you break it down. All right. So the story is relatively simple. It's for the sake of understanding the design. She's obviously a member of some kind of like, we know she's a member of a K-pop group. But at a first glance, you can tell that she's some kind of like pop star. She has like this really strong fashion sense and kind of sex appeal to her. And it kind of the sex appeal part ties into like her actual lore. So I think it's really good. We know we want to keep her silhouette strong. We want to make sure she's readable, which they did a really amazing job. They usually do a pretty good job at it, but Evelynn's silhouette is already strong enough that it's really hard to mess up for the most part. All right, so let's go ahead, and I really want to focus on like the actual like principles of design here, like the shapes, the motifs, the design balance, the values, and see why it works. So let's see. Um, so the design is always telling a story, and like we said, she has that sense of style and that sex appeal, and you can see because she has like these all like her legs. She has these really long, slender legs that we can see. In all of the screenshots, really, you can see her legs. So here she has like, since she looks like she has on stockings, but because her whole skin kind of changed value, it changed with her. Am I on the right layer? Okay. Um, so yeah, it's really good to see that she has the skin, which is really nice to show that sex appeal. Um, let's see. Let's go in with the shape design. So she already has these. She already had these like kind of points on her. This kind of like diamond motif that was going on. Let's see if they actually carried it over. These aren't too high resolutions on the in-game screenshots, but we're gonna try to work with them. So we have these diamond points here. We kind of have like we have these like diamond shapes over here almost like on the edge of her coat or whatever this is called. Um, it's a very subtle diamond. Her fingers have points to keep that consistency. I think her dress even has like diamond. You can see down here her dress has like diamonds in it. So they're really playing up the diamond motif that she already had, which is awesome. The fact that they were able to keep that. You can even see it slightly here. Like even though this is just a screenshot, you can see that there's like a diamond motif in the pose that she's actually in. So that's pretty cool. Anything on the back? The back you see less of like the diamond shape. But when you're like looking at her from above, you can really see that kind of diamond shape. Ba, 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 ba. Are there any other shapes that we can notice? So there obviously aren't any circles because she's not a soft, friendly character. She's not very approachable. She's approachable through her sex appeal. She's not approachable through like her friendliness or she's not like Santa or that since Christmas is coming up. She's not like Santa. She's not like round and jolly or whatever. She's very sharp edged, and these help to show her personality and help to inform the player that she's actually pretty dangerous. Which is they did a really good job on Evelynn's design. What I do wish they did differently was, I know this is going to be hard from a design standpoint, like from a functionality standpoint. But I would have really liked to see like the colors inverted, like have her body be like maybe a bright highlight, and have her like head be like that darker color, like just to see like a bit more of like just to see a bit more variation between the two forms because she looks really similar. And I'm pretty sure that there's like a better way to explore that, but what they did so far is already good. The reason that she still keeps this kind of pink highlighted hair and the pink highlighted trails or whatever you call these, her weapons or her tails, is the fact that from a gameplay standpoint, you need to be able to see the focal point. Like the legs in a MOBA aren't very important. That's why they're kind of like dark. Like there's nothing down here that's important to you. You don't have to see it. Everything you need to see about the character. Let's go back to to that blue. Everything you need to see about the character is going to be seen from above, like seen from up here, and then it's going to trickle down into here, and you don't need to pay attention to that stuff. And you also see this stuff. This is her weapon of choice, or her claws are also her weapon of choice. But the whole point of a MOBA is you're going to see from top down. So the fact that she has these glasses, or the shades, and her hair is like glowing, and these things are glowing, that all helps to show the player that the character, this is what you need to be looking at. This is what you need to be looking at. This is what you need to be looking at. Don't look down here. That's literally what this design is saying. It's always going to be that way for mobile games. Any top-down game, really. It's the same thing for FPS games. In FPS games, you're going to be seeing the character a lot from the back. You'll also be seeing them from the front, but those are going to be enemies. So you want enemies to read as enemies, and you want the backs of characters to look pretty cool. So for example, Fortnite is a good example of where you have skins that look cool in the front, but they also kind of look cool in the back. It just kind of makes it a bit more interesting for the player and the opponent. All right, so those are the shapes. You know, we have these, like I said, the consistency between the sharps, and we have these like spiky feather things going on. I think this is feather. It's like a feather, or fur, not feather. It's like fur, and that helps. Fur is like generally relatively pointy, so it's really good to show that kind of like aggression. What else do we have? What else can we check out? We already stated the motifs that she has going on. We have the diamond motif, which is amazing. They did a really good job of really getting that all over the design. We also have, we can talk about the design balance. That's a very, very important thing usually in concept art and just character design in general. So here, like I said, as I said earlier, you can even see here how it kind of like falls off. Like the values, like you have this really bright value up here, but then it like gradually falls off into like darker because it's just not important. So in terms of design balance, when I say design balance, I talk about rest versus detail. So an example of detail would be the design on her pants is a form of detail. And also, like right here, she kind of has this chain. That's a form of detail. And the face, in my opinion, is always going to be a detailed area. And what that means is detail is just intricate, like eye candy, little extra things that just help you focus in on an area. And you usually want to have that balanced by a large area. So you have these pants, or the skirt that she has on is a rest area, or is a detailed area. And then you have the legs, which are a big rest area here. You have this big rest area here on the shoulder, and then it goes into the necklace over here. And then it goes into this. I would count this as like a medium/rest area, or a medium/detailed area. So you really have that skin. Like even if you see like all these squiggles I'm putting on the screen or over the character, you can really see that it helps to have this shoulder area showing to really, really play up the fact that there's a rest area. They're necessary. They may not seem necessary, but if you're trying to be a concept artist or a designer, rest areas are extremely important because you don't want this. You don't want this. Like, this is too busy. Like, now your eyes are like, oh my god, where do I go? Where do I go? There's nowhere to like rest. There's nowhere to rest. But the moment I erase this back out and add this back in, it's like, okay, I can look at all this and then I can look here. So now most of your attention is going to be like, this area is always going to be the place you go back to. So you want to have detail, then you want to have a pit stop. You want to have a detail, you want to have pit stops. So that's pretty important in design. So let's see if we can find more throughout the design. Here is a big thing. I like to talk about size variation and shape design, or not shape design. It's large, medium, small. So here this is a really good example of it. It's very, very simple. You have the large shape, which is the large diamond shape, and then you have a medium shape, which is like the black triangle, and then you have the smaller triangle on the inside. That's literally the principle of large, medium, small. You can even think about it in terms of a box. You have the box. Now you want to split this into large, medium, small. So you go, boom. So now this is the large, like this area down here is large. I can't write. Okay. This is large. This area here is small. And this area here is medium. And what this does, this is a really good starting point for people who are trying to learn design and design balance. This helps you keep in mind of that you basically need to have a detailed area. The small represents detail. The large area represents rest. And the medium is just that extra space in between. It kind of breaks things up. So details really break up the monotony, and medium areas are just this is just a good principle to work with, and then eventually you'll be able to determine your own method utilizing the whole large, medium, small, and rest to detail. There's so many different ways to think about it, but it all generally leads to the same thing. You don't want to have the whole thing be busy. You only want a portion of. You want your most important parts to be busy, and then you want the other areas to be rest. Like, I think I've talked about it enough. I don't want to go too much. I probably have been rambling on a bit about it for too long already. But yeah, that's a really good idea to keep in mind. It's large, medium, small, size variation, and you may even interpret it differently. Like I said, large, medium, small is this. That's to me, that's large, medium, small. Size variation is interpreted differently to me. I consider size variation to be something like this. Like, how can I do this? It's really weird to explain. I definitely do it in my head a bit more. I can explain it to myself. I can't really explain it to others really well. But large, medium, small, like I said, it involves adding that small section and splitting up the square into different parts. I would consider size variation to be similar. But it's basically taking out the medium and just having a rest area and a detail area. Rest area, detailed area. So yeah, there's so many different ways to think about it. So you can do whatever one you prefer. You can do large, medium, small. You can do size variation, rest versus detail. It's all the same stuff. It's all the same thing. And we already talked about values. Again, values are really, really important because it determines whether or not your character will stand out from the game and from the background. And I've seen a few games. There's been games, like newer games, where it's like I can't see my character. And if you're trying to do it intentionally, it's like, okay, that's okay. But if you're just doing it for the whole game, like for example, if we go in and we say that, let's see, the background value is already like a darker color. It's in the darker region. All right. So, but this is in a higher region. This is all the way at the top. So literally, it's like there's no way you can miss this bright haired character because she's on this really dark background. So like if we were to make this a dark pink, like if we were to bring it down to the same value almost, it would be really hard to see this character. Let me get a different brush. It would be really hard to see this character without having, you know, those bright highlights. Let's see if we can do this. So you can already see that it's a bit harder to see as opposed to having the bright pink everywhere. Like now, you immediately notice that other things are drawing your attention. You're looking at this blade first as opposed to the face first. And you always, 9 times out of 10, you want to notice the character's face before anything else, unless it's intentional. You know, usually you notice like you want to notice like a weapon. Okay, that's okay. Or you want to notice like you want to notice a weapon, or you want to notice the face. That's usually what it's going to be. Those are the things that should stand out the most. If anything, if there's any part of the leg, like if it's just like a thigh, like if this was like bright, like if this was like that, it's like why is that there? That makes no sense. From a gameplay standpoint, from a game design standpoint, that makes no sense. Because all of your attention should be focused here. All of your attention should be focused right there. So, yeah. And that's about it. You know, like I said earlier, I would really like to see like some kind of inverted values on here, but that's going to be pretty difficult to do in terms of from a design standpoint. All right, so I hope today's show, how long? I don't even know how long the show was, but I hope it was pretty short. I noticed they've been getting around like 25 minutes, 26 minutes. So I hope you guys are enjoying that. Yeah. So that's going to be the end of today's show. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell if you want to be able to see when I upload new videos. Like I said, I'm going to be uploading 2 this week. Well, 1 more in addition to this. And if you didn't like it, then you can dislike the video as well. Any feedback is useful feedback in my opinion. So if you want to dislike it, that lets me know what you guys do like, what you guys didn't like, and I can analyze it, or you can comment it. And if you would like to join me on Discord, and we can probably talk about, you know, what characters to review for next week, or what characters to review in upcoming videos, I'll leave the Discord link below. Or if you would like to support me, then you can do so on Ko-fi. I'll leave the link down to there below as well. You don't have to donate your last $1, your last $3, or anything like that. But if you do have, you know, an extra $1 or 2 to spare that you want to just toss my way, it helps so much. It'll help me lead to do this full time, and I'll be able to produce more videos for you guys. And I would love to do that. But right now I have so much work to do. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's show, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.